everybody. Welcome to the show. This is Tuesday, and this is Just Parlays with Chris King. I am Scott Steehn. I am your host. I am the lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. Chris, what's going on, buddy?
Not a whole lot, Scott. How's things going with you guys?
Things are good. Things are good. I can't complain at all. Pretty exciting day yesterday. Remember that one time they scored a basket in the Golden State game? That was cool.
Yeah, I think I missed it. You know, the way that they were shooting, I swear that those rims were bent up like at your local park when you go to play basketball, and the rims all bent, and there's no net and everything else.
Yep. Even somebody's torn down the chains. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
I said it looked like a Missouri Valley Conference game, and you came back and said it looked like
IUPUI, Chicago State,
Nui Pui. So.
I mean, that game was so bad that, like I said, I went and turned down the Cubs-Padres game to find offense.
R.I.P. to everybody that had the over in that game. So,
yeah, including me, because I thought I was going to go over.
Well, it was a night of fun. It really was. The Dodgers really that killed us. We had Dodgers on Bet the Farm, as I alluded to yesterday on this show. It did not go well as Jose Quintana picked up the first win by a Pittsburgh Pirates starter in 28 games. It stopped their major league record at 28. Previous record, 21. Do you know who it was?
If I had to guess, I would say the Baltimore Orioles.
Baltimore Orioles when they lost their first 21. Yeah.
1988.
The team doesn't win. So that's good to be here, man. We do appreciate everybody stopping by. Please drop us a comment in the comment section. We know you're out there. We can hear you breathing. So let us know. Let us know what you're on today. Let us know what you think of our picks and et cetera, et cetera. When I say our picks, of course, I mean Chris picks, because he is the king of parlays. So.
And you were right yesterday, too, about the Milwaukee game. We talked about how, we expected it to go under, but it could have easily gone over. And, of course, that's what happened.
Well, when you say it could go under, but it could also go over, yeah, it's hard not to be right. I agree.
Well, but I mean, we thought since all the other games had gone under, we thought that one would stay under, and then all of a sudden they scored a bunch of points down the stretch.
Yep,
pushed that over the mark.
Yep, absolutely true. Michael Dost in the house, a regular in the comment section. I would hazard to say, good to see Michael around. And Michael's a pretty good. He's a good solid viewer, man, because he checks in right after this with our show as well. Hey, speaking of shows, don't forget to like. When you're watching this video, we'd appreciate if you smash that thumb. Don't forget to subscribe to both of our YouTube channels, both the Winners and Whiners YouTube channel and the Max Wagers Network. Why would you subscribe to Max Wagers Network YouTube channel, you ask, when you can see us right here? Well, because there's a lot of fantastic content put out by the folks over there at Picks and Parlays, and that is the merger between Winners and Whiners and Picks and Parlays. Of course, you've got Midday Money at noon with Sean Higgs. You've got Allie Burns doing her thing on Morning Wood with occasional appearances by Detroit Lenny. You got you and me. You got me and Scott. You got Sean Miller doing soccer. Whatever. Another one of those sports I don't know anything about.
Field hockey.
At 4 o'clock, and of course, bringing it all home is Detroit Lenny and the Earl brothers, Tim and Nick, with what's the name of that show?
Game Time Decision.
Very good. Very good. I like you're not as much fun as Reichel. Right? It's Reichel where I just struggle, but still trying to name the lineup. So,
that's because Reichel's too busy worrying about his next nap.
That's true. Michael Dost liking the Hurricanes on the money line tonight and the Oilers in reg. Don't hate either one of those. Unknown Entity is here. Very good. Chris, what the hell happened with the Dodgers yesterday?
I think they forgot that they actually were scheduled for a game yesterday because, like you said, Quintana, nobody expected him to do much of anything, and he turned in a decent enough outing.
Yep.
But by the same token, look at the bright side, Michael. Kyle Hendricks threw 8 2/3 scoreless innings, and the Cubs did beat San Diego 6-0. So you take moral victories where you can get them, even if you can't get a win on the stupid Pirates, because hey, look at the flip side of that. Who thought that the Reds would score 10 runs?
Absolutely true. Nobody.
Here's a hint: I'm fading the Reds again.
There you go.
Because Luis Castillo's not pitching again. So
back at your own risk, and he was okay. What did he go 4, 5?
4 2/3.
Give up 2 runs and 5 hits or something. He was fine. He wasn't fantastic. He was good enough though.
Not good enough to get the win because he didn't go 5.
Hey, we got a great deal going on with Caesars. Chris, you want to tell everybody about it?
No, but
Okay.
we'll do it anyway.
All right.
Yeah, you get the first bet insurance with Caesars, where you can bet up to $1,000 because with the juice
Yep.
it's 1,100.
Yeah, and I like that part that they pay for your juice, because usually you see things like that. You're like, well, I want to bet, I want to win $1,000, and you can't do it unless you find an even money play. So I like that Caesars not only picks up your grand, they pick up your juice on your grand. So
Right, and so if you're a first time user, put up your wager of $1,100, because back in the form of a free bet if you lose. So it's basically, you get 2 bets for the price of one if you lose the first time, and if you win, then you win a whole bunch of money. So that's always a plus too. Use the promo code ATSWinCaesar, which is down in the show box below. And like we said, you have to be a first-time user with the Caesars app. You also have to be in a state where Caesars is legal, and be 21 or older, except in the states of New Hampshire and Wyoming.
very good, very good. And those codes and link are in the description of the show, as well as links to both you and I doing our premium picks, Chris.
That is also correct.
We do have premium picks available if you're looking to go. If you're looking to go a little deeper, get our very best plays. 5-1 last couple of days here just to start the week, so we're happy about that on the premium side. Missed Seattle yesterday, but that's about it. So
yeah, Seattle's one of those teams I can't figure out right now.
Tough, man. And Flexen was on the mound, and he was absolutely dreadful.
Yeah, so, I mean, I didn't think Ranger Suarez would pitch as well as he did, because he's been up and down this season. I think he's better as a reliever than he is
agreed
as a starter.
Agreed. So yeah, Flexen so far not the most valuable pitcher in the major leagues as far as
no bueno.
No bueno at all.
And the weird part is if you look at that Mariners game yesterday, Julio Rodriguez, who they've been talking about, hasn't hit for beans all year, had 3 hits, and the rest of the Mariners were a combined 1 for the season.
Well, and we talked a little bit before the show about the White Sox absolutely shitting the bed in the 9th inning, blowing a 6-run lead, courtesy of a couple of errors, a grand slam. Is that going to be? Is that the 4 runs are going to be unearned? You load the base, or you have one guy on base before the second error.
Let me double check.
Right. There was 2 out, 1 on, right?
Yeah, and then there was a walk. No, the errors were first.
Okay, all right. I don't even know how they come up with the unearned runs and all that bullshit, but the bullpen melted down for Chicago. Let's just say that. So.
Yeah, only 2 of the runs were, or no, 3 runs were unearned in the 9th. Then there was, the unearned runs that came up in the extra innings, because the ghost runner doesn't count. Well, there shouldn't even be a damn ghost runner to begin with. But that's a different story.
Don't even get me started.
Yeah, Liam Hendricks grooving a 99-mile-an-hour fastball down the middle of Broad Street, wondering how it ended up 420 some feet away.
Hoo-ah. Andrew says, salute the Winners and Whiners Nation. Salute back to you, sir.
I didn't know we had a nation, but
Can you still do the crisp Marine Corps salute?
Yeah, if I didn't want to deal with all these,
oh, that's right,
manglings of my arm, but I can still do it.
All right, and you feel
something that doesn't go away.
Feeling pretty good after your little your wreck last week?
Right? Yeah, hanging in there. I mean,
bumps and bruises.
Yeah, just the biggest aggravation is dealing with the insurance company.
Got that morphine drip set up yet?
No. Hey, did you see the picture I sent you? So you can see how far out of whack the driver door was.
Yeah, plowed you pretty good, buddy.
Yeah, when the door's bent like this, that's not normally necessarily a good sign.
Hey, and don't forget, this is Tuesday. So are you gonna do the show tonight?
I probably won't be home.
Oh my God. All right. Well, you can catch me and probably Scott as well on Total Chaos with Allie Burns. You can't catch Rockstar Chris because he's a little too busy to do shit like that. But the rest of us.
I mean, the biggest issue is trying to do all this other crap to get it situated. And look, Andrew also has NC State over UNC Wilmington, plus East Carolina over Duke in baseball. He's 9-0.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I didn't even see that he put his record in there, but yeah, just anecdotally speaking, I was gonna guess that he was crushing it, because I can't remember grading a losing play for him in college baseball, and I guess that's the reason why, because he's hit every one of them. So why not have USAA insurance?
Because
they're really tough.
Because my wife had this before, so.
Okay. Yeah, they're apparently USAA is really tough on fraud, because Gronkowski has not been able to.
I know. Can you believe that?
Oh, that's so funny.
His policy number is 87.
How'd you pitch that in a meeting? Like, all right, anybody got ideas for a new campaign? All right, stay with me. Rob Gronkowski, tight end, tries to commit insurance fraud repeatedly in a series of commercials, and we turn him down. What do you think? I'm on board. I'm loving this idea. You guys?
It's like the Jim Gaffigan skit where they talk about hot pockets, and he's like, "Well, what do we call these things? Hot pockets." Wow, you're on it.
Hot pocket.
Yeah, and a caliente pocket.
All right, buddy. Let's get to it, man. Let's give the folks some good news. Let's give them a reason to wake up from their nap here on Tuesday.
Guess what? I'm going back to the Dodgers.
Oh my God, they can't lose 2 in a row, right?
You wouldn't think so, but you never know. But now look, I even have 2 money lines up there.
If you didn't want to lay the 225 yesterday, perhaps you'll be interested in laying 240.
or 140, or like I said, the 2. If you go 2.5, because like you said, the Dodgers had won their last several games by at least 3 runs.
Yeah,
so, hey, minus 2.5 is plus 110.
Throw that trend in the fucking trash. Yeah, it's if that wasn't enough of a jinx yesterday, now you've put it in writing to jinx yourself by putting the 2.5 up there at plus 110.
Well, that's because a lot of people will say, "Well, I don't want to pay minus 140."
I know.
1.5, so
I know. And the Dodgers, they've lost 1, so now they're due, buddy.
And, well, exactly. And it's Tony Gonsolin. He's 2-0 with a 1.64 ERA. He's not going deep in games, and I'm not sure if he's just not stretched out or what. But I mean, 22 innings and 5 starts. He's on the plus side. He's going against Bryce Wilson, who's not even good enough to hold a starting job all the time in the Pirates rotation, because he's made 5 appearances, 3 starts, 2 relief appearances. And frankly, if the Atlanta Braves give up on you as a pitcher, you probably have some sort of issues, because Atlanta tries to rehabilitate everyone as a young arm. I mean, look at all the guys they've had going back to the Avery and Glavine years and all that, and then in the early 2000s, and then they did give up on Sean Newcomb, who was supposed to be a big arm a couple years ago, but they've got Ian Anderson. Again, not Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. He's not going to play the flute. But in this case, they gave up on Wilson. Now he's pitching for Pittsburgh. I guess, would you rather be demoted to the minors or be traded to Pittsburgh?
Minors. If I was with a good team. I mean, if I'm with the Reds and go to the minors, I mean, no, I don't know. But yeah, if I'm with the Dodgers, would I rather go to the minors than Pittsburgh? Yeah, all day.
The Dodgers 45-16 in their last 61 against the Central, 57-21 in the second game of a series. They're 8-3 in their last 11 as a road favorite. Pittsburgh, yeah, they won yesterday, but they're 0-5 in their last 5 after winning a game. So that brings back the Lou Brown thing from Major League. We won today. If we win tomorrow, that's 2 in a row. That's called a winning streak.
Right.
Pittsburgh doesn't know what that is.
No, they're not very familiar with that. By the way, I'm just looking at Gonsolin here. He's made 5 starts. Like you said, he doesn't go deep into games. He's only pitched out of the 5th 1 time. He hasn't been super efficient with his pitches. Now, last time out, I really like to get some information on this, Chris, because he went 5 innings, gave up 3 hits, 1 earned, 1 walk, 5 strikeouts. He threw just 65 pitches, so that's 13 pitches per inning. So I'm not really sure why he was yanked there. Of course, the National League no longer using the pitcher to hit. So, a lot of times you can look, well, his spot must have been, due up. They had a couple guys on base. They pinch hit for him, but obviously that's not the case this year. So apparently he's just doesn't have it in him. And he's thrown 83. He's in the game that he went 6 innings, he threw 83 pitches. So he has been inefficient at times, but he has been efficient at other times, and there still seem to have a cap on him of about 5 or 6. So I definitely want to check the usage of the LA bullpen yesterday to see if they used any of their front line.
Well, they were off yesterday. There was no. Oh yeah, I'm sorry. No, they weren't.
Yeah, they were. The Dodgers were off yesterday.
They were mentally off.
They were scheduled a game. Yes.
Let me see who they threw yesterday.
Because you always have to look at. I always look at bullpen usage, and then I want to see who they use, because most bullpens will have a couple of different tiers. They'll have the tier that they use if they're ahead a couple of runs or if it's a tight game. And then they have the other guys that are kind of down at the end of the bench, usually like playing with their fidget spinners and shit. Those are the guys you bring in when the game's pretty much out of reach one way or the other. So,
well, Urias went 6. He gave up 2 runs on 11 hits. Then they went to Bickford in the 7th, and Robbie Erlin through the 8th.
Okay. All right.
So it was a 2-1 game or a 2-0 game, I think.
Right. So
yeah, and then Bickford. No, I'm sorry, it was a 1-0 game. Urias was tagged for one of the runs in the 7th because they scored twice in the 7th and twice in the 8th.
Okay. All right. I do like them in a bounce back spot there. They didn't burn much of the bullpen, so they should have plenty of arms out there to take care of business with with Gonsolin on the mound. So, all right, play the Dodgers again. Why not? Let's do it. Really, Pittsburgh couldn't win 2 in a row, right, Chris?
I wouldn't bet on it unless they were playing the Reds. But,
all right, very good. All right, bud.
Hey, what do you know? That's called foreshadowing. There's the Reds.
Dun, dun, dun.
The record on the Reds is wrong because it didn't save when I saved it. The Reds are not 16-12. We all
know they're not.
The Reds are. In case you're scoring at home,
they're not 8-7 at home. No, none of that is true.
No, it didn't. For some reason, it didn't save. Sometimes it had hiccups when I do this stuff. They're 6-23. They're 4-8 at home.
Winners
so kudos to the Reds. They have 4 home wins.
Okay. All right. Very good.
But look who's pitching. It's Hunter Green.
Oh, great. He's not good.
No, bro. We talked about Hunter Green in his last start, which came last week against these Milwaukee Brewers. When he went 2 2/3 innings and gave up 8 runs on 9 hits.
That's not ideal.
No, he struck out 7 of the 8 guys he retired, but he also gave up 5 homers.
That's right. That's that stat line we talked about. That's right.
Yeah.
Where like, well, you're gonna get 8 outs and you're gonna strike out 7 guys. You're gonna go, well, okay, that's not ideal, but it's not terrible. And you're gonna give up 5 home runs. What? How is that even possible?
All in the span of 76 pitches.
Yeah. Yeah, he very, very efficient with his shitty pitches. Oh,
he's 1-4 with an 8.71 ERA. And when I looked at his FIP is 8.31, so he's not even getting ripped off.
That's one of the worst FIPs you'll ever see, by the way. The FIP is, I mean, if you're terrible, you're in the 6s. To see a FIP of 8 and change, you are very, very bad.
Yeah, on the flip side, Peralta, he's got a 5.09 ERA, but if you look at his FIP, it's 2.47.
Okay. Yeah, you've been pitching in some bad luck. You might want to look at BABIP and things like that.
Just take a quick look at his last couple outings. I think he pitched in a different game against Cincinnati. He pitched in the game last Wednesday, gave 3 runs on 5 hits with 2 walks and 7 strikeouts in 5 innings, picking up the win in the narrow 18-4 margin of victory for Milwaukee.
Well,
so that's probably why they got him out of there.
And if you're a stat head, if you like your Sabre stuff, Hunter Green, his ERA plus, where 100 is average. Want to take a guess? Hunter Green's ERA plus
3.
51. 51. Another very, very bad mark. If you're used to looking at those numbers, 51 is about as bad as you're going to see.
Yeah, here's another bad number for you. His homers per 9 innings, 4.4.
Oh, yeah. Not good.
He's given up 10 homers in 20 2/3 innings.
Okay. All right. Well,
and you can't just blame that on the ballpark.
Can you blame it on the rain?
Sure, why not?
Blame it on the rain.
By the way, Scott, his hard hit percentage, 50%.
Not good, Bob.
Team batting average against him 311, slugging percentage 700.
Oof.
OPS 1088.
Yeah, I was going to say that's got to be an OPS of 1100 or so. So just look at that.
His pitching ratio. Here's his true 3 outcomes percentages: strikeout 28.2%, walks 10.7, homers 9.7.
Okay, all right. Well, I think we've taken a long time to say he's bad.
No bueno.
Brewers can score some runs. They're 5th in the majors. They were first going into this weekend. So
yeah, I know.
They dropped a little bit.
But you look at the Reds are 3-12 in their last 15 when their opponent scores 5 or more. They're 1-4 in their last 5 after a win, so they're kind of like Pittsburgh. And the Brewers won 8 of the last 10, even after losing yesterday.
Okay.
I get the Reds score at home, but I mean, if you look at how many runs per game they're giving up, it is ungodly.
Yeah, it really is.
It's over 6, I'm pretty sure.
Yep. Yeah.
Let's see. Opponent runs per game, 6.34.
And the Reds, man, they've got some serious injury problems. They just Moose just came off of a knee injury. Now he's on the COVID list. And I wanted to see Lodolo's, of course, he's out. Indy
He's
is
out
out.
again?
Yeah, Lodolo's out indefinitely with the biceps. Sinzel's out. Indy is out. Votto's out.
Yeah, so is Jake Fraley.
Jake Fraley's out, yeah. So,
and Mason Schrock is out. I mean, come on.
And Milwaukee's going to be missing McCutchen on the COVID list, but yeah, still, I will.
I like how Cover's injury report has Josh Hader listed as out indefinitely with a back issue, but he got a save over the weekend.
Josh Hader is not out.
I know, that's what I mean, but Cover still shows that he's listed as out with back spasms.
Sorry, buddy. Yeah, I like the Brewers there. I like them on the run line. I think that's solid.
Yeah, it's gonna be a rough season for Cincinnati.
It really is. 70 cents of value for a visiting team on the run line isn't bad at all.
True.
I like that. Usually you'll see a drop of 50 cents usually when they're the visiting team. 70 something you might expect to see with the home team with only 8 at bats as a possibility. So
now
I like it.
Who do you think is going to be worse? Is it going to be Cincinnati or is it going to be Oakland?
At the end of the year?
Yeah.
Cincinnati.
Okay.
I would have thought Oakland before the season, but they've shown a little spark and they've shown an ability to to play.
Even though you talked about how they had lost 9 in a row going into yesterday.
Yep, I know.
But they got to win.
I know. They got to win. I think I think it's going to be close. I think those are probably the two worst teams in their respective leagues. Maybe Texas will give them a run for their money.
Texas, I guess John Gray's hurt again. It's like the third time he's been hurt.
Shocking development.
But speaking of the A's, they're playing the first game of one of those weird double headers where the A's are the home team in the first game at Comerica Park.
And then they turn it around.
Yeah. It's 0-0 in the fifth, but the Tigers have runners on second and third in a scoreless game.
Is it too late to tell everybody you like the under there?
Well, I actually did like the under. You look at the pitchers, it's Skubal and Frankie Montas.
But you didn't like Skubal.
I don't like him to pick him to win the game, but he's good at keeping. He's been good at keeping the ball in the park. I don't think he's given up a homer yet this season, which is impressive considering I think he gave up 35 or something like that last year.
Give up a few. You're absolutely right.
But he's given up none. Oh, now he's up to 2. Okay, so before he had none going into his last start.
Michael Doe's talking about I don't know who he's talking about.
He was talking about Bryce Wilson.
9 walks and a 126 whip with a 3.79 ERA. Very weird. Yep, he either walks you or you making out. That's that's exactly. Well, that was the case with Aaron Ashby. Yesterday he gives up no hits and gives up about almost a walk an inning. In fact, after yesterday's game, Sunday's game, I can't remember. I think it was Sunday.
When he pitched against Morton.
Yeah, that's right. I think. Oh, that was the Dodgers. That was the Dodgers game of Sunday.
Yeah,
with fading Charlie Morton. Charlie Morton goes out and looks like Cy Young. So
he looks like old Hoss Radbourne.
Yeah, thank you.
But to Wilson's point, he has given up 3 unearned runs, so his earned run average should be worse than what it is.
Fair enough.
So at least there's that.
Okay, something to hang your hat on. All right, what else you got?
Well, you ready to go to the ice?
Oh, why not? I know we got some people talking about the hurricanes and whatnot. So yeah, let's get to it.
And the Colorado Avalanche did win last night, so Nashville becoming the first team eliminated from the playoffs.
Nashville Cats, man.
Well, it's like Reichel said, they were screwed once Saros got hurt at the end of the regular season because.
Yep. Yeah, they had to win the game. When Ingram stood on his head and made 49 saves and they didn't win, you knew the writing was on the wall.
Now, here's a question for you. If you were John Hines going into that series, would you have gone with Ingram, even though he was a rookie in game 1, over Big Game Dave?
I don't know. That's a tough choice. It's like, do you want to eat some dog shit? Do you want to eat some cat shit? Like, I don't really care.
You heard it here first, folks. Scott Steehn comparing backup goaltenders to dog shit and cat shit.
Making comparisons that you'll hear nowhere else, anywhere on the internet. I'm
probably with good reason.
Yes. Well, there is a reason for it. So, what about you, buddy?
knowing Rittich as much as I did from watching him play in Calgary and playing in briefly in Toronto and stuff, the Big Game Dave moniker, I think he gave it to himself. He might have been Big Game Dave playing in like Pee Wee or something like that.
Somebody doesn't understand irony, perhaps.
Yeah, that could be. Maybe he meant he disappears in big games. Maybe we just didn't get the context.
Do you think somebody called him BG Dave and he assumed it was Big Game and it really stood for like biscuits and gravy?
Or Big Gay.
Okay. You heard it here first. We're going to miss you on the show. Welcome back tomorrow to Just Parlays with Scott.
But no, I think I probably would have gone with I might have gone with Ingram just because with Rittich you knew what you were going to get and it was not good.
Yeah. Give me
maybe that's what BG meant was bogus goaltender.
Okay, boy, that was I could almost see the wheels turning inside your head there to pull that. So very.
I was trying to come up with something that would go with good, but I couldn't come up with anything that really was going to work.
Barely good.
That would have worked. Yep, that's a good one.
Fair enough.
But we're going to go to Edmonton, where the Oilers and the Kings are tied at 2 after the Kings bounced back with a 4-0 win on Sunday. Still going to see the same goaltenders we saw in games 1, 2, 3, and 4. It's going to be Jonathan Quick and Mike Smith.
Big game, Mike.
The Kings 13th in goals for in the postseason. They've averaged just 2.5 goals a game. They've given up 4.25. So they've been outscored 17-10 in this series. Edmonton, they play well at home. You have to think that McDavid and Draisaitl and those guys will be on the ice a lot more now that Jay Woodcroft gets the last line change at home. Give them some favorable matchups. Edmonton's 8-2 in their last 10 against the West, 7-2 in their last 9 against teams with a winning record. Kings 2-7 in their last 9 as an underdog, 1-4 in their last 5 as a road underdog, which is weird because if you look, they had a good road record, 24-12-7, counting their 2 playoff games. But the Kings, they haven't been good in the postseason in recent years, 2-8 in their last 10 conference quarterfinal games. Those 2 wins coming in this series. The Kings have 2 wins. They might not get another one. I'm going to take Edmonton here. I just think the Oilers have too much offensive talent for the Kings to try and contain for 60 minutes, especially playing in Edmonton. You look at the first 2 games in the series that were in Edmonton. Game 1, the Kings got lucky when Smith had that inexplicable clearing attempt that set up the winning goal, and then they got obliterated in Game 2. I look for Edmonton to come back with a vengeance because that's basically what they did. They lost Game 1. They came back. They destroyed the Kings in Game 2. They're coming off a loss here. They should come back and destroy the Kings in Game 5, giving them 2 cracks at the apple when it comes to, winning that decisive 4th game to get out of the first round.
Okay. All right.
No thoughts?
I don't want to lay 210 with Mike Smith in a series that's tied 2-2. That's my thoughts.
Would you lay? Well, I'm not sure what the flip is. So you would take Quick plus whatever.
Yeah, 175, 180, whatever.
Is that what it is? Yeah,
that was my guess. Yeah, I'm going to pass. But if I had to play it, yeah, I'd play the Kings plus money.
Even on the road, I don't blame you.
Even on the road, like I said, I can't lay 2-1 with Mike Smith, buddy. In a series that's tied up 2-2, and they stole one there at the Saddle Dome. So
you mean what used to be the Northlands Coliseum, the Saddle Dome's in Calgary?
Calgary. Sorry, yeah,
that's okay.
Right. They all run in they're all
they're in the same province.
But yeah, so
Michael Dose wants to know who Gretzky's rooting for.
His wife.
Well, you understand the reference.
I would imagine Gretzky's an Oiler for life, despite playing the last part of his career in LA. That'd be my guess.
Well, come on, he played for the Blues too. He could be rooting for them.
I forgot he played for the Blues
and the Rangers.
Oh yeah, that's like Namath playing for the Rams. You always forget that.
Or Johnny Unitas playing for the Chargers?
Chargers, yeah. That's right.
Or Fran Tarkenton playing for the somebody.
Oh, he played for the Giants and the Vikings. He played for somebody else.
I thought he might have gone somewhere else at the end, but maybe I'm crossing him up.
Could be. All right. So you like the Kings there, and
no, I like the Oilers. You like
the Oilers. In fairness, you follow hockey a lot more than I do. I'm just looking at it from a.
I understand the perspective you're looking at it from, and that makes sense because sometimes it's a more objective.
I'm going to lay 200. I want it to be on a solid team that's not going to lose like the Dodgers.
Yeah, fucking Dodgers. And speaking of teams that are 2-2, we're going to talk about the St. Louis Blues, who bounced back after losing games 2 and 3 to win game 4. They switched from Ville Husso to Jordan Binnington, Scott, and you talked about Binnington the other day being the rookie goaltender that led the Blues to the Cup a few years ago. What do you make of making the move to Binnington over Husso at this point?
Well, I think they kind of had to do it. I don't think they had a choice. I'm not sure. In the first game, I thought he did a pretty nice job. I thought Husso was pretty good, and it looked like a good move when the Blues shut him out 4-0. But then he gave up 11 goals in the next 2 games. I think in that point, you got to make a switch, right?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I mean, you look at game 3 of that series, and they were down, 1-0 by the time anybody got a drink or anything like that, because by the time they got 39 seconds into the game,
by the time they got back to their seats with that square slice of Emo's pizza, it was already 1-0.
And by the time they actually got settled in the seat, it was 2-0 because they scored again less than 2 minutes later.
Right. Yeah, absolutely true. So yeah, I'm okay with making the switch here. It smells a little bit of desperation, but we'll see. Now, Chris, as a guy that follows hockey pretty religiously, is that an unusual thing to do when you're tied 2-2?
Well, I mean, they started Binnington in game 4, and he got the win. So
okay. Oh, wow, that's right. That's what I wanted to ask you if Binnington played game 4, because I didn't see who played.
Yeah, he played in game 4. The weird part when I'm looking at the box score for game 3 is St. Louis. They were down 4-1 in the third, and the Minnesota scored an empty net goal with 7.5 minutes to go. So, I mean, you were that desperate that you just said, well, you know what? Fuck it. We're going to play the last 8 minutes without a goaltender because who gives a shit?
Goaltenders are overrated.
Reminds me of Mutant League Hockey on the Sega Genesis, where if you pulled your goalie, you could have what was known as the demon net, where, it would just try to, eat the puck so teams couldn't score on you.
You score now, you're going to hell.
Yeah, pretty much. But I don't trust, as good as Minnesota was, and I mean, I'm not going to take anything away from them. They were great in the regular season. The Blues have had their number for the last couple of years. Those games 2 and 3 notwithstanding, and going back to Binnington, you have to think St. Louis got some momentum back because Binnington actually looked good in game 4. The final score of that one was 5-2. And you look, they scored 1 in the first, 2 in the second, 2 in the third. Binnington stopped 28 out of 30. I think the Blues can take this one on the road, and then they're an underdog, which they were an underdog in game 1, and we took them then too.
Right.
I just think that Minnesota has issues when it comes to winning in the playoffs.
Okay.
And I mean, look at those bottom 2 lines: 4-11 in their last 15 in the opening round, 1-5 in their last 6 playoff games as a favorite.
Not ideal.
No. And I'll take the plus money on the money line there.
Okay. Yeah, there's one for everybody that always take favorites. Now there you go. There's a plus 130. There's a very nice parlay sweetener. You throw that in there, and that is going to make your parlay a very happy day.
So you ready for the NBA?
I am. Give me some hardwood.
All right. Whoa, hey. Don't ask, don't tell, buddy.
Okay. I didn't even know. I thought you were going to go with carpet matches the drapes unless there's hardwood. So, yes, moving on.
Yeah, the Heat and the 76ers, game 5 of this series. Scott, what are you making of the series so far?
Well, I'm surprised that Philly has been this competitive. I really thought that Miami would take care of business. I thought they were the best team in the East. I thought it was them and the Bucks kind of 1A, and I'm kind of surprised that Philly has played as well as they have, especially with with Embiid being banged up there, and it's 2-2. You're right where you want to be if you're Philly, right? You stole one on the road, gave up one at home, so that's unfortunate. But
Now, how much of this performance that we saw do you think Embiid was feeding off the crowd at home?
well, we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Embiid was fine. He was certainly better than anybody that would have replaced him. But I
Well,
still didn't think he
that's
was
not saying a whole lot.
I still don't think he was the dominating player that he's been throughout the season when he was healthy.
Now, do you think he could? No, I agree with you. Do you think he can Willis Reed it on the road?
That's the tough question, because it does make a hell of a difference on the road. Now, I do worry about the fact that Kyle Lowry is missing for Miami.
Yeah,
Does that bother you with that nursing that hammy?
I mean, he hasn't necessarily been all that effective in the postseason as it is, and as long as Gabe Vincent can play, I see he's listed as questionable on the injury report with irritation in his knee. But then again, if you look at the injury report, like half the Heat's team is listed as questionable. I guess that's so they can avoid getting fined. Marshawn Lynch.
He's here not to be fined, man.
Yeah, that's what I said to the doctor last week when I was there. I said, Marshawn Lynch, I'm not here to get fined. I'm just here so I don't get in trouble.
So let me ask you this. Miami has not shot worth a shit from
no, that's true.
in this series. They've shot 20%, 23%, and 25%. Now they did shoot 48 in their 16-point win there at home last time out. But does that trouble you when you've got some pretty good 3-point shooters there in Hero and the other kid?
What troubles me the most is that they're not playing Duncan Robinson as much as I would expect.
That's the kid I was thinking of.
I mean, Robinson, he had a big game early in the playoffs, and then all of a sudden it's like, who the fuck's Duncan Robinson?
Well, do you think the problem with him is his just complete lack of defense? The kid just cannot play defense to save his life.
Well, there's that, but I mean, can you afford to play him 1 minute? I mean, he's played 1 minute in this series.
Yeah, I don't really understand it. I don't know why, especially when this team has struggled from beyond the arc, shooting 25% or less in 3 of their 4 games. I don't know why you don't get arguably your best 3-point shooter involved.
Yeah, I mean, if you look here,
I'm just a fat guy on YouTube. I don't know anything, but
he scored 27 points in 23 minutes in Game 1 against the Hawks. He shot 9 of 10 from the floor, 8 of 9 from 3. Since then, and we've now played 8 more games. He's played a grand total of 44 minutes.
I don't understand it.
I can't figure it out. I mean, he's played 1 minute in this series. He played 1 minute in Game 2. So garbage time.
Ouch. I mean, banged up. Maybe you think he's hurt?
No. I mean, he played every game in the series against Atlanta. I mean, his minutes went down. He played 7 in Game 2, 14, then 9 and 13.
Some kind of nagging injury that's not listed or anything. I mean, I don't get it.
I don't either. I mean, I would think with the fact that the 76ers just got belted for manipulating the injury report prior to Game 3, I don't think that they would leave him out or not put it out there if he had some sort of injury. I just don't know if Spoelstra's lost confidence in him.
I would say this. Spoelstra certainly deserves the benefit of the doubt when it comes to mutts like you and me.
True.
He's had some success. He knows what he's doing. My guess would be that they are working harder to keep size in there.
Yeah, I guess that now that Oladipo is relatively healthy,
right?
Maybe he's chewing up those minutes.
I think that's exactly right. I think you've got to have size and you got to have bodies inside to slow down Embiid and company. My guess is that's why Robinson's not playing more, because obviously he played against Atlanta.
Yeah,
Atlanta was missing
everybody.
John Collins and Capella played, right?
He played at the beginning, then he got hurt.
That's right. So
and then they had the other Bogdanovich.
Well, but when you've got nowhere to rebound the ball, you have the luxury of being able to put some perimeter shooting guys in there. So my guess would be it's just a different a type of team that you're facing with Philly. But I still don't understand, why you're getting 1 minute. If you want to, I don't know why you can't go small and force them to spread their defense.
Right.
Because you can play. There's two ways to play that. You can sacrifice offense and put defensive stoppers in there to try to jam up the lanes, or you can force them to play small or come out and try to pick up somebody on the perimeter and use those big guys against them. So,
or you can do what the Pistons used to do, and you can use Udonis Haslem and his 6 fouls to beat the living piss out of Embiid.
Use them up. Use them up.
Look at that. Look, it worked for Detroit.
Yep, absolutely right. So you like Miami to take care of business here, huh?
Yeah, I like them at home. I mean, I look here in Philadelphia is 2-8 in their last 10 on the road. They're 0-5-1 in their last 6 against teams with a home winning percentage better than .600. I don't expect a ton of points necessarily. I mean, Miami's second in postseason scoring defense. Philadelphia's third. But, we saw the Heat take care of business in their 2 games at home. I have to think that they can do it again. And like Ninja said, the Heat seems to play better without Lowry, probably because he's had that bulky hamstring. It's kind of like the Raptors looked better without Van Vliet.
Right, because they're out there at 60% or whatever.
Right.
So
it's addition by subtraction.
Yeah, and I do think without Lowry and with Robinson getting very limited minutes, I think the under is still very attractive there, despite the fact that it's kind of catching up, right? It was not really. It's right where it was. I was thinking it was like in the 2 teens, but it wasn't. So
what's it at now? Like 209.
Yeah, 209.5. Last game went off at 208. So, and of course it went over. So, but I still think the under's the play there as well. I like both your plays. I like the Heat, and I like the under. I think 2.5 is a good number.
And then we can move on to the other game, the Phoenix Suns and the Dallas Mavericks. And one thing we've seen in these games is the home team wins.
Yeah. Well, and that you can just about say that for all the series.
Yeah, unless you're Milwaukee and Boston.
Home team for the most part has been very, very good in the playoffs so far. Not quite as good in round 2 as they were in round 1, but still they've been outstanding in this game, 2-2 for the home team, wins and covers.
Now, and we talked about this before Game 3 about the Mavericks finding some alternative scoring to help out Luka Doncic, and I'm still not convinced that they found it. Really, when you look at some of the numbers, Brunson's been held in check for the most part. Kleba's had moments. Finney Smith has had moments. But when you get to crunch time, who's going to help Doncic?
I know. You and I brought that up the other day, and that was the question that we had. And so far, it really hasn't been anybody.
I mean, you're looking Game 4. Finney Smith hit 8 threes. Sure, that's great, but he was 8 of 12 from 3 and 0 for 1 from 2. On the flip side, Doncic was 1 of 10 from 3.
Right.
Am I going to sit there and say, well, the Mavs are going to shoot 20 of 44 from 3 every game?
To me, this is all about this. This comes down to Brunson. If you start with the premise that Doncic is going to get his, then it comes down to Brunson. When he scores, they do well. When he doesn't score, they don't do well. He put up 22 in the first 2, 11 per game. He put up 46 in the last 2 that they won. So they lose the first 2 when he averages 11. They win the last 2 when he averages 23. So goes Brunson, so goes the Mavs. And he was not good when they were in Phoenix last time.
And do you think Brunson was more effective in games 3 and 4 because of the perimeter shooting? Because, I mean, Davis Bertans is another guy that had barely played in the postseason. And all of a sudden I looked in the first, quarter and a half of that game in Game 4 the other day, and he had 4 threes in like 5 minutes.
Right. Yeah, that was Brunson went 1 for 3 in that game and still managed to put up 18. I think that's a good sign. Doncic just put up 26. Now you're right. Finney Smith was pretty much the star of that game, shooting 67% from 3-point, going 8 for 12.
Him and Bertans was 4 of 6.
So we've talked about this a little bit before. When you're handicapping games with like a series like that, which of those performances, which team's performances are not repeatable? Which are less likely to be repeated? And I would say Finney Smith going 8 for 12 and Berton's going 4 for 6. That gives them what 12 for 18. So they shoot 57% between the two of them. I would say that is unlikely to be repeated. On the other side, I would say Chris Paul putting up 5 points
and fouling out
is probably not going to be repeated as well. So I look for Dallas 3-point shooting to fall a little bit back to earth and Chris Paul to have more than 5 points. There's my hot take.
Yeah, and to your point, just to point that out, in Game 3, Finney Smith was 4 of 11 from 3 and 5 of 15 from the floor.
Okay, well, that's some terrible inside shooting.
Yeah, I know.
You're 4 of 11 from 3, and so that means you're 1 of 4 from inside the arc.
Yeah,
that's not good.
And just going back here, Finney Smith in the series didn't shoot a 3 in Game 2. He was 2 of 6 in Game 1.
Okay.
So he was 6 of 17 from 3 in the first 3 games before going 8 of 12.
I wonder what his keep talking. If you got a 3-point prop on him, I like the under.
Yeah, I'll double check and see what it is real quick.
3.5, 4.5, something like that.
Do you think they would bump it up that high all of a sudden just because of the fact that he had one good game?
What do you think? 2.5?
I mean, I'm guessing. I'm going to take a look and see what BetMGM has here because it's the one that tends to load the fastest.
Let's see. I've got it here. Finney Smith is 2.5. Okay. Yeah,
2.5. Maybe I would take it.
Yeah, 3. I would be more interested at 3.5. It's juiced under, by the way, of 2.5 minus 130.
Really?
Yep.
Wow. So what is it on the? Let's see, over plus 105. Okay. Yeah, because BetMGM has it at minus 135 on the under.
Okay.
But Chris Paul's at plus 155 for making more than 1.5.
Not his deal. He's a penetrator. He's a drive and dish kind of guy or a finisher.
Unless you saw him in Game 1 against New Orleans when he hit like 5 in 3 minutes.
Unbelievable. When you're hot, you're hot. This Jerry Reed.
Yeah, I'm gonna take.
You don't mind him laying the 6 there?
No, I guess that the line's actually apparently is moving upward from. I see Ninja said he was going to take it at 8, but I'm still seeing it at 6.
I've got it at 6. 6 yeah,
6 or 6 and a hook somewhere.
Yeah, I've got a juice 6 at minus 115.
Okay.
So shop your lines if you have the opportunity, Ninja. Get yourself a better line there, brother. Unless you like the Mavs, or you want to play a middle. Mavs plus 8, Dallas minus 6.
See, Caesars has got it at minus 110 for 6.
Okay. All right.
Or they did. I mean, they could have changed. But looking at it here for a second. And Nathan says he has live action with the Tigers money line and under 6.5.
Must have picked that up early, eh?
It's 2-0 now in the 6th, so the Tigers did score in the top of the 5th.
Man, you can't stop the Tigers. You can only hope to contain them, man.
On the ever popular offensive weaponry of the sacrifice fly and the RBI fielder's choice.
Excellent. They all count for you, brother.
Yeah, so 5 hits for the Tigers, 2 for the A's. Offensive bonanza all around.
There you go.
American Park.
So Mavs not good on the road. Phoenix been very good at home. Take Phoenix Suns late 6. Okay, cool.
Now we'll move on to the 2 for the money, which are games we talked about, just to make it easy for Scott. We talked about the Brewers and the Reds. Hunter Green is basically a batting practice pitcher who can throw 101.
Okay.
I mean, come on, 10 homers and 20 2/3. I have to think that the Brewers can take care of business, and we talked about the Dodgers. We're not going to beat that into the ground.
I think this is a fine parlay. It's the team that fucked me on Sunday and the team that fucked me on Monday. What could we do? Are they dead to me? Hell no. We're putting them together for a parlay. Absolutely.
Why not?
You know what? Why not lay the run line there, fuckers?
And then We'll take the Heat over the 76ers. I just think Miami playing at home will work in their favor.
Okay.
And the Oilers over the Kings. I know Scott's a little reticent about that because of Mike Smith. I'm just not sold on the Kings.
Okay.
I mean,
that's
other
you know why? Because they're not great.
well,
They're not,
other than Anze Kopitar, it's hard to trust who you're going to get to put the puck in the net for them. And with Edmonton, you have to score. I mean, there's no two ways about that.
All right, so you're saying the team that wins is going to have to score?
This is correct.
And I'll call him the best color man in the business for nothing, folks. Chris King, everybody. All right, there you go.
Broadcasting school definitely paid off.
Brewers, Dodgers, Heat, and Oilers. Okay.
Kevin wants to know what's in your cup.
Green tea. Today is Mojito Mint.
Whiskey.
From the fine people at Stash.
At Jack Daniels.
Even when I was drinking, and I used to drink a fair amount, even when I was drinking, I could not drink Jack Daniels at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
As the saying goes, he's not drinking anymore, but he's not drinking any less.
Listen to the Mitch Hedberg line. I used to do drugs. I still do, but I used to too. Yeah, no, my day drinking days are long past. I'll still have an occasional beer, a glass of wine, something like that. But whiskey at 2 PM when I've got shit to do, no sir. It can't happen.
See, I drink the Arizona green tea myself.
Yeah, so just so you know, Kevin, I'm always like this. This is me sober. So welcome to it, buddy.
Now we'll go to 4 for the show. Now that we got Scott's AA meeting out of the way.
There you go.
I'm going to take the Houston Astros, who have been playing good ball of late. They won 7 straight. Of course, they all came at home. They're going to take on the Twins. Justin Verlander on the mound for the Astros against Joe Ryan.
Joe Ryan? Or
Jojo Ryan. I changed it. It's like Jojo Dylan, only different.
It's not.
I'm going to take the Yankees. I'm going to go back to the Yankees here over the Blue Jays because Kikuchi's pitching again, and I don't think he can pitch at a 2-1 game.
The Cooch.
Especially playing in what Chris Woodward, the Rangers manager, calls a Little League ballpark of Yankee Stadium.
Oh, I lost the game last year in Yankee Stadium, and I just lit Reichel up about that stupid fucking park. Goddamn 180 foot to right field or whatever it is, man. No. When you've got your second baseman playing on the warning track, that's not a good sign.
Well,
I'm with him. Fuck that ballpark. It's ridiculous.
I'm going to take the Hurricanes over the Bruins. That series moving back to PNC Park. Boston played well at home, but they struggled. What's that?
The Hurricanes and the Bruins heading back to PNC Park.
Oh, sorry. The PNC Arena.
Okay. All right.
They can play at PNC Park. It's not like that anybody cares about the Pirates.
Yeah, you put that Frozen game up in May. Sure. Sounds like a plan. Okay, good.
And finally, I'm going to go a little bit different here because the Colorado Rockies and the Giants over 7.5. Now, there's some method to this, Scott. I don't know if you know what it is or not. Other than they scored 16 or 13 runs combined yesterday, but Antonio Senzatella is going for the Rockies today. In his 5 starts, they've gone over in all 5 games with totals of 13, 15, 13, 14, and 16.
How many of them were on the road?
Let's see. 2.
Okay. All right.
Including a 13-0 whitewash by the Tigers.
Very nice. Okay.
Now, I like to think if the Tigers can score 13 runs, the Giants should be able to get enough to push us over 7.5.
I'm a big fan of that play, by the way.
It's not the farm play, though, right?
No, it's not.
Okay, just checking. Because, that's why you didn't talk about the Dodgers game yesterday.
Correct. And that was my day yesterday. That was Reichel talked me off the ledge. I wanted to take the Yankees on the run line. He talked me off of that, say the Yankees aren't scoring. That ended up being right as they win 1-0.
Yeah, that was a boring game.
But my second pick was the Dodgers on the run line or alternative run line or laying 5.5. laying a full touchdown.
72.
Yeah. So yeah, that did not work out. So yeah, I'm a big fan of that last play.
And Kevin, I think that Phoenix full game is probably a good bet. The half and the quarter are always so fickle because we've seen some of these teams, they'll lead after the first quarter or they'll lead at halftime and then they'll get blown out. I mean, look at Memphis yesterday. Memphis was up at the half in the Brick Fest, went on to lose. As far as over, I mean, we talked about that. Scott, you think under is the play there, right?
And which one?
Miami, Philadelphia.
Yeah, I mean, if you got to play a total, I'm playing the under there. I don't have any confidence. When you talked about Miami pulling some of their 3-point shooters and shooting terribly from beyond the arc, I don't know how to back the over there.
Yeah, and we'll go to the shot in the dark, where for some reason mine's supposed to say under for Miami, but again, typos.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Braves over the Red Sox. It's supposed to be Garrett Whitlock going against Kyle Wright. And one thing we've learned is Kyle Wright has actually learned how to pitch at the major league level, and Boston can hit.
Killing it.
And look at that next one, Scott. The Kansas City Royals.
Speaking of drinking whiskey in the middle of the day,
they're facing the Rangers.
I know they are. It's bad Brad Keller, buddy.
Yep.
He's been very good. I like that play a lot. Plus money with Keller on the mound against the Rangers.
I mean, it's Martin Perez going for the Rangers. He's pitched well of late too, which is weird because I always used to look at Martin Perez and go, "Look, he walked 17 guys again."
Yeah, I'll tell you what I do like there. I like the under. Martin Perez, by the way, has given up just 1 earned run in his last starts, covering 20 innings.
Yeah, I saw that because I actually had to write this game up for for Winners and Whiners, but it's weird to see Perez actually, looking like a quality pitcher all of a sudden. It's like, what's up with that?
Agreed. Love the under there. Love the under. I've got it at 8. Anything?
I think I saw it yesterday at 8.5 when I can't remember.
I wouldn't be surprised. So, all right, go ahead.
Rays over the Angels. I think Kluber will beat Reed Detmers. I'm just not sold on Detmers, even though he screwed us over once.
Fair enough.
I'm gonna go with, like we talked about earlier. I gotta fade the Mariners now, even with Robbie Ray on the mound, because every time I pick the Mariners, they win or they lose. And so now I'm gonna pick against them, and they'll probably win.
Fair enough.
Aaron Nola going for the Phillies, by the way.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what it was. Okay, I had these flipped. I had the 76ers staying under the total, like Scott said, and I had the Suns going over. But of course, when I went to update it.
So you like the under 209 over 215?
Correct, and like you said, it's 209.5 now. So
like
that makes it even better for the under.
Chris Paul to rebound.
Yeah, and then on the ice, I look for the Blues and Wild to go over 6.5.
Okay.
The Oilers and Kings to go over 6.5, which apparently didn't transfer when I typed it in, and the Bruins and Hurricanes to go over 6 because hey, they've gone over in every game this series.
Right.
So,
all right, very good.
Let's go with that.
That's a day right there, guys. There's some parlays for you. Pick and choose, mix and match, and like picking out donuts. Just you don't want to get a dozen glazed, but throw some Bavarian cream filled in there as well. So
yeah, or crullers if you can find them.
Love some crullers. Love bear claws. Okay,
yep.
Well, it could be for an hour as the fat man tells his favorite donut. So we're gonna get out
the
of
next episode of Fat Man Talking About Donuts.
Right. Hey, it's my new podcast. Everybody, check it out. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. As always, thanks for all the cool comments. Don't forget, we do this every day, 2 p.m. Eastern time. Excuse me, 1 p.m. Eastern time, right? Yeah. Okay.
No, 2 p.m. Eastern is 1 p.m. Central.
Yes, that's right. There you go. 2 p.m. Eastern time, 1 p.m. Central time. Stay tuned for me and Scott doing our thing. And Chris and I will be back tomorrow doing it one more time as we talk about, what do we talk about, Chris?
Just parlays. And Kevin, yes, I like Phoenix over and Miami Philly under. All
right, there you go. And that's going to do it for us, guys. You take care. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for all the comments. Stay tuned. I'll be right back.
Right back
after this brief word from our sponsor. Take care, everybody. We'll see you.